So, Guardians of the Galaxy. What can I say about this team of unlikely heroes? Well, first thing I can tell you is the first time I heard about the Guardians was the release of the first MCU film, which I assume was a lot of people's first exposure to this team. In terms of the video game space, Rocket was a playable character in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and made a return with Gamora in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. The Guardians would also get their own game in 2017 with the Telltale series, which was fantastic, and I highly recommend you guys play that. So Square Enix and Marvel, as of late, has not had the best reputation. With the lukewarm response to Avengers, I can understand why some people will be hesitant when it comes to Square's second attempt at a Marvel property. This time it's Eidos Montreal in the driver's seat, mostly known for the Deus Ex series. So, is this a win for Square? Let's find out. So what type of game is Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, it is a focused single-player experience where you play as Star-Lord throughout the entire adventure. Now, of course, you have your partners, Drax, Gamora, Rocket, and Groot to assist you throughout your space travels. The story of the game is honestly very engaging, and the presentation really brings the story to life. The banter back and forth between characters, the overall voice acting, the camera angles, the lighting, it's all fantastic. Now, I won't do a story summary here because it's hard to talk about this without giving any sort of spoilers, but let's just say this. If you're a fan of the movies or the comics, just Guardians in general, this game has that same tone throughout the entire playthrough. It's very enjoyable. The characters are constantly cracking jokes, going back and forth, and this game also borrows some elements from the Telltale games by allowing the player to pick their response during dialogue and make certain decisions that will affect the story. So make sure you're paying close attention and pick the decision you think will be best for the given situation. Adding to the presentation is the addition of awesome 80s commercial music. If you did not know, Peter Quill is a huge fan of music from that era, and it makes sense because that's the era he grew up in. Speaking of music, let's talk about this Star-Lord album that was created for this game. Square Enix actually posted a very good blog about how the band was formed, and I will say, I'm not a huge fan of rock music, but man did I love this album. The music videos that accompany this music is awesome as well, and I highly recommend you guys take some time to go out and look at the videos and listen to the music. It is really good stuff. Now, I could sit here and admire the presentation all day long, but how does the game actually play? Which in my opinion is the most important aspect of any game. Just for transparency, I'm playing this on the PS5 on performance mode. Well, I'm happy to report this game is awesome. Now, in terms of traversal, the game is pretty linear and very light on exploration. The game kind of pushes you in the right direction at all times, so I wouldn't classify this as an open world or even an open area for that matter. During the exploration portions of the game, you can use your partners to help you progress, whether it's commanding Groot to make a bridge, or Gamora to give you an extra boost to reach the higher platform, or even Rocket reaching small areas that you can't reach on your own. So the game really does a good job in showing the value of each team member. So what about the combat? Because it's fair to say, after Spider-Man's fluid combat, anything with a Marvel logo will probably be compared to that. Well, let's just say this, Guardians combat is fast, frantic, and addicting. Now, just like the rest of the game, you're only controlling Star-Lord, but you can command the other characters to do certain actions. Rocket is great for crowd control, Drax for staggering foes, Gamora for hard-hitting blows, and Groot for slowing your enemies down. The key to winning these fights is using the right character at the right time and having that teamwork. One thing to note, Peter is pretty agile from the start. He has his jet boosters to help avoid and dodge enemy foes. Peter also has elemental blaster attacks which you can obtain throughout the story, whether it's Ice Shock and my personal favorite, the Wind Blaster, which will bring enemies closer to you on the battlefield, which is amazing and great for tackling those snipers. After each battle, you gain experience points which you can use to gain new skills for your characters, giving this game kind of an RPG feel, which is super helpful and fun during the heat of battle. Speaking of upgrades, it pays to explore. You can find materials that will allow Rocket to give you perks, which is awesome. Very similar to the salvage system in Tomb Raider. You can get faster cooldown times for commands, permanent health boost, and much more, so make sure you go explore. Now, one question that I got from many people who knew I was playing this for my channel: did I enjoy this game more than Spider-Man Ps4? I can't say yes or no. I think this is a very unique experience, and there are some things this game did better. The look, the atmosphere, the music, the presentation. But I think as its own game, it's a fantastic experience and definitely one of the best games this year. For some reason, I feel this game isn't getting talked about enough, and I think it really should. It's a shame because this game is fantastic, really. Now, as much as I could praise this game, the only criticism I have is that the game is a bit on the easier side when it comes to combat. I feel right from the jump jump, you have so many options in your arsenal, and considering how agile Peter is, I didn't find many of the fights to be a real challenge throughout my playthrough. Now this could be subjective because difficulty in itself is subjective, but if you're good at fast-paced action games, I would recommend you crank up the difficulty just a little bit if you're looking for a bit of a challenge. One thing I would ask, why doesn't this game have online co-op? Yeah, I know Square wanted to make this a single player experience, but I just can't help to think this is a missed opportunity. But on a positive note, I do appreciate Square including a streamer mode, and I feel every game should have this. If you guys don't know, I do stream over on Twitch TV, and having a streamer mode to remove all the commercial music is great, especially considering where we're at with the DMCA laws. So overall, Guardians of the Galaxy is easily one of the best gaming experiences on modern platforms. The presentation is top notch, the music is awesome, the combat is great, and the game tells a pretty engaging story. If you have not played this or haven't even considered playing this, buy this game. Do not, I repeat, do not miss out on this experience. You will not regret it. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.